Namaste everyone. Welcome to our West Coast Gentle Yoga. This type of gentle yoga is designed as a palliative yoga. Palliative yoga is primarily a preventive style, but it can have therapeutic effects also. It is designed for stress reduction and to increase the energy of communication in body systems, which stimulates better immune system and body's repair mechanism. One feels better and minor issues can get resolved. Yoga brings good health of mind and body, inner awareness, and a sense of cosmic connection. Regular discipline practice is key. So if you miss a day, please use the video recording on YouTube at Life in Yoga Rajan. Yoga is not a physical exercise and it's not a religious practice either. So people with any religious background can do this. This type of gentle yoga can be done sitting on a chair or on the floor. Some points to note is always keep your spine straight but not stiff. And if you need, support your back. Do these practices gently, smoothly, and without jerks. Slower is better. Visualize the part of the body being exercised for maximum benefit. Follow instructions to avoid adverse reactions. There should be no strain, and you should do it within your capacity. Make sure your breathing is slow and smooth. If anything causes pain or discomfort, please stop immediately, avoid the practice, and seek clarification. If you have any questions regarding personal problem, please send an email to the email addresses provided in the reminder email. And remember, liability is entirely yours. Thank you.
Namaste everyone. As usual, we will begin with 3 ohms. Let's take a deep breath in. So today we will continue with discussions of the Yoga Sutras. We have completed the sutra by sutra element, but then sometimes as we do that, questions will come to you and we may want to interconnect some concepts that we have seen from the Yoga Sutras. So there are 2 questions that somebody who could not be here today, Jennifer Palmer, has sent 2 questions. So I will read those questions for you. Actually, I'll share it on the screen for you so you can see it. So Jennifer Palmer has asked these questions over here. She says, question, in the process of samyama, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, what kinds of questions can be posed in dharana? Can they range from the very practical and specific, such as what job should I take, where should I move, or should they be on our subtle inner growth, such as one's relationship to being honest, truthful in some situation? Can anybody give an answer for this?
I think we can post.
I think it is only for Atma Vidya.
I think we can post for both. I think that's what I would do if at all needed.
That is correct. Actually, let me stop the share so that we can go and have this discussion here. The reality is the line between spiritual existence and material existence is a continuum, and they are integrated. When you lose sight of one and work on the other, you're missing the point of existence. So in other words, when you're in the samyama process, you can deal with anything from the mundane to the subtle. However, you have to also understand, if it is not your swadharma to know something, the answer will not come. So only what according to your swadharma you are eligible to know will come to you. And what is not eligible for it will not come. So what happens is, many of you have seen when people ask for mantras over here, I cannot find the mantras for everyone, right? So only for people for whom the cosmos is ready to give, it will come. So that is the big distinction between the two. Any further thoughts on that? Questions?
Doc, I had, after one of our lessons, I actually, put it out there, and it was my understanding that it was a past, like a profession I had or something like that. Is that something that falls in Dharma? Because I was worried it was something like karma I had to clean up, and I'm like, you're kidding me, no way. And then it came back that it was Dharma. How would that relate?
Okay, let's backtrack again. Keep yourself unmuted.
Okay.
Yes. So now you had some kind of a meditative experience that you had pondered on something that had happened in the past, whether you're gone on the wrong track, and then you got the answer, no, it was okay, it was your dharma. Is that what you said?
I think I was asking a question about why do I know something, right, that I didn't know. And I got an answer, like, why do I think like this? I think I put it out there that way. Why am I thinking? And, oh, that's what it was. I'm like, why do I keep thinking about this? And so I got this, it was brief, but it kind of just said that it was a career, right? It was short, and it was a former career. And it's not from this that I'm aware of, but it was literary, which would explain, my love for words, right? So, but the type of industry that it was in, I didn't agree with. So I sat on it for, just talking and mulling about it for a day. And then in the middle, somewhere out of nowhere, it just came out, no, it's Dharma. Or did I pick the right word? I forgot. But I had the definition with me, so I was able to separate it from what I thought it was, which would have been, I was payback, right? But this is just saying that it was part of something I already had done that's making me up. Does that make sense?
Okay. But you have said a number of things, but in this way, the way you said, you gave more details than what you said the first time. So, obviously I need to understand your question to respond.
It's
right?
my first time being live and real with a real voice. So.
No, that's fine. So the thing is, you see, I'll give you an example. Okay. Many years ago, this was in the 1980s. I was offered a job from a company in San Francisco. Okay. So the job I was offered was to direct who should be the people who should be targeted for getting a credit card that this company was offering. So at the, my background goes into I used to work for American Express in New York. And I've also been in Madison Avenue working for advertising agencies before. And so I've also been in consulting business, where I worked from, literally I've worked with companies on consulting from potato chips to silicon chips. Okay. So the thing is basically, so given the, wide variety that they did, so these people wanted me to come and because of my American Express background and things. So this company had a very unusual and interesting way to do their thing. they will be looking for people who are unable to be current on their loans on their credit card, and they would offer them credit card, and like, you know, the first year or so, like a low interest rate, like credit cards, as you know, they charge usurious interest rate, like, you know, 23% per annum and things like 2% per month kind of thing, right? And so the thing is, they would offer, like, you know, for the first 6 months or so, they will give you an interest rate of, you know, like 11% or something like that. And so they would look for those people, and only those people they wanted target. And essentially, I felt that their entire approach was to push people into indebtedness. Okay. And so I found it unconscionable, and I said, I won't accept the job. And I walked away from it. Okay.
All right.
So now this kind of thing has also happened in those days. Philip Morris, the cigarette company, they used to do targeted marketing to people, you know, for promoting their Marlboro and all of those things.
Mhm.
And so what happened was, at that time, I know many people who were offered job over there who walked away because they didn't want to be in that business of marketing and helping to promote that cigarettes, right? So that is one aspect where intuitively you feel it's not the right place for me, right?
Yeah.
Now, the other side of it that you're pointing out is, you went through an experience and you didn't like the experience, you walked away from it. And whatever happened for it, are you paying back for what you encountered? That's
Yeah.
how you put it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Like, was I supposed to learn something, and this is what I get for not going to learn that lesson or something? But to me,
the yogic way of looking at it is the following. Hey, the past is past and is gone.
yeah.
Given the set of circumstances I was faced with at that time, I made that decision, and that's what happened. So now it is, the past is dead and gone. Forget about it, move forward.
Yeah.
The moment you can forgive yourself, then everything opens up for you. Okay? So hold just one moment. I smell something burning. 1 second.
Okay. I have a voice, you guys. Thank you for listening to my question.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. It looks like one of the light was too close to the wires, so I turned it off. That's fine. Okay. So the idea of Yoga Sutra is, once you let go what is past and learn to be a pure observer without judging yourself, you purify yourself faster. If you're unable to forgive yourself and unable to let go of the past, then in which case you have to come and do payback.
Right. Thank you. I feel good that I didn't make that decision. And so I'm okay. I'm easy with it. At least I'm talking it out in my head, right? We're working it through.
Yeah, and you need to understand, yogic concepts are there in every, you know, yoga is basically the core of spirituality of every religion, right? Now, what happens is, the concept of self-forgiveness is a very important thing. Bygones be bygones and move along. This is a very, very important concept in yoga, and learning to be an observer. And in the Christian Roman Catholicism, they have this concept of confession, right?
Yeah.
And now the same thing in the Indian system. There is one day in the year when people change their sacred thread, where they go and do a mental affirmation, which they are supposed to do 1,008 times, which essentially says that everything I have done is because of desire and anger. And I'm not desire and anger, and I dissociate myself from it. Okay? So this is the way in which it is done. And for those of you here who may be familiar with it, it is called the Kamakarishi Maha Mantra Japa. Okay? So the thing is basically, so this kind of a thing of absolving yourself, moving along, is a very important part of how you don't let things get affected. You purify yourself and you go on the yogic path, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
good.
thank you.
I have a quick comment on that question that lady asked. Not this lady, but the email
Yes.
that you got.
Yeah.
uh, I mean, based on Sutra 40, 43, 30, 31, 31 and 32, um, based on that, it says that um, pretty much there is, once you get to that state, there is hardly anything to know, which means you're such a small speck and you're just a robot just fulfilling the cosmos purpose. Where is the question of asking for anything material?
Very good. A very good point you make. The point you make over here is it depends upon which state you are. So the early samadhi state, which is sometimes referred to in the first chapter, it is referred to as sabija samadhi, and in the later chapters, it tells you that even though you have attained the samadhi state, you are not fully purified. The sanskaras or programs are within you. Okay, so those are state. That is one state. The other state, what is called Nirbija Samadhi in chapter 1. And then, of course, in chapter, the later chapters, it is a point where you have become the Sattva Purusha Shuddhi Samya, right? The purification has become equal to that of God, right? So that part over there, there are two different states altogether, right? The Nirbija Samadhi versus Sabija Samadhi state. So when a person is in the Sabija Samadhi state, the person still has desires and various things embedded in there. So the person may ask a question of that nature, okay? And if the person forces it and gets an answer out of that, that is adharmic, it will lead to inappropriate consequences. I will give you an example of this. Many of you probably know, actually some of you here will definitely know the story of Vishwamitra, right? This great sage, there was one of his disciples who wanted to go to heaven in his own body. And so Vishwamitra used all his yogic powers, and people told him that, this is not the appropriate thing to do. It is against the nature, right? Whereas this man basically insisted. And actually his spiritual teacher was Vashishta. And Vashishta said, no, this is not something that should be done. It's not right. And so he refused to do it. Then he went to Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra, in order to prove he could do something that Vasishta would not do, he tried to send him, and this man got caught into the Trishanku Logam, as it's called, right? And so what happened was, and as a result of that, Vishwamitra lost all his yogic powers.
Oh.
So what happens is, anytime you go against the nature of cosmos, you will lose your yogic power, the connectivity will be lost if you force it, right? And so this is the nature of the way in which we understand. And hopefully that gives you clarity. The two states you're on, one state is in the state of Sabija Samadhi. In the state of Nirvija Samadhi, there is no issue whatsoever. You are not going to ask for anything material. But in the Sabija Samadhi, you may. And because there are programs within you, and some of the programs, in order to fulfill, may be part of your cosmic course, you may even get guidance for your material living. Okay? So if you got your guidance for the material living and you went with it, that is fine. Okay? But you shouldn't push it too far.
But is that the Samyama state then?
It is the Samyama state. Because what happens is, in the Sabija Samadhi, the point of the focus is the Bija. And then you go into the Sabija Samadhi, temporary state, and you get the Samyama happens and you get the answer. Correct.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I actually wanted to ask you about a person who is starting new in the spiritual journey. What are all the various stages, meaning what are the various states he would go through before he finally ends up with the Chanapati yogi state or whatever? Is
Okay.
that chronologically they will go through all these different states, and if you can list them out, it will be great.
Actually, in the statement of yoga and what many yogis have observed, when the time comes, it can happen in just like that. It can happen. Okay, and so if you look at specific examples of people who are born that way, or people who had one experience in life that transformed them and they attain that state, all of those can happen. But in a general way, Patanjali is able to give us some guidance. And what is it in a general way he's able to give us? I'll put it in the most broad way as Patanjali puts it. I believe it is Sutra number 30 or 31 in the first chapter that Patanjali talks about the normal state people are in is in a state of physical or mental imbalance, right? And so from there, in that state, it is very difficult for them to have the attitude of a pure observer, let alone that, even to bring their mind to a point of focus. The mind is very unsteady, and the body has all reactions to it, right? So you can consider at the lowest level, that is the, actually we should go one step beyond. First thing is the person should be a seeker. If the person doesn't seek, the person won't get it. And so the person should be a seeker. And usually that person seeks when the person goes through the ringer of life and says, hey, I give up. I don't know what's going on. Give me help. So when that help comes, you call out for help. That is when you're asking for questions, right? And so then at that stage, of course, the body and mind are in imbalance. And so this is where Patanjali says, start with an idea of moderation and don't be heavily judgmental. Every time you feel like being judgmental, calm yourself and say, be moderate in your reaction. And then from moderation, you're able to get a point of focus. And the point of focus need not be God or anything. It can be a happy moment in your life. And so whatever that happy moment may be in your life, you just think of it and be in that happy moment. And that gives you a point of focus. If there is a happy moment in your life and you want to think about it and just mentally kind of enjoy it, that is a point which will attract you and hold you over there, right? So whatever it is, this way what happens is the mind becomes one-pointed focus. That one-pointed focus, as you go along, you train yourself with that one-pointed focus to become a person who becomes less and less affected by things around you. So this is why in the yogic training process, it is said that it's a very good idea to do a meditation for like 20 minutes or so, daily, 3 times a day, morning, midday, and evening. And if you keep that as a regular practice, then in which case you develop the ability, think of it, immediately after a meditation session, at least for the next few minutes, you feel so calm. And, if somebody were to yell at you, you would probably respond very differently. You would probably respond in a way that is, okay, that too happened. And that's about all. The yelling came and that too happened. There was no reaction back from you, no yelling back or anything. So this kind of a thing is something as you do daily, instead of being like that for a few minutes after the meditation, each day it stays a little longer and longer. And after a period of 6 months, it becomes part of you, whereby the whole day you are like that, right? So this is how the training process and things begin. And as you are in that non-reactive state all the time, except where you need to engage with, something that is useful work, that is part of your dharma, then what happens is, over that period, the programs within you begin to deplete. This is what Patanjali explains. As the programs within you begin to deplete, your intuitive awareness begin to grow. What is the dimensionality behind it? If we look at ourselves, there are 3 elements in our Atmanadi, our highest connection. By the way, you all recognize that in Samadhi, we develop the cosmic connection, and that is the source of the intuition, right? So there are 3 elements in that connectivity process. And this is what the connectivity process goes through the Atmanadi. One element is the how much of impurities you have. The other element is what is called the vidya, or the lack of avidya, or the lack of ignorance about what is the level of Atma Vidya that you have. Then the third level is the effort to meditate and connect, right? So the degree of connectivity is, and how much access you have to cosmic knowledge depends upon your degree of connectivity, the Atma Vidya, and the amount of impurity you have. All three of these are associated with the Atmanadi. So when you're in the state of a pure observer, the programs within you begin to diminish, all the inner programs. So purification increases over a period of time. And since you're in the process of inquiry and meditation, the Atma Vidya slowly begins to expand. And if the impurities are gone completely, you will have a high level of connectivity. And then when the Atma Vidya is increased, you will have an even higher level of connectivity. And not only that, you will have access to be able to know the information. Whatever you seek, you will be able to know quickly, right? So these are the three dimensionalities that they work with. So the question you ask, how does a person progress? And Patanjali's clear direction is focus on reducing the impurities in you. In other words, the program elements within you. And you attain that by being a pure observer. So that is the simple message for everyone, right? So now let me get to the second question that this lady has asked. And the second question is, am I sharing the screen with you? No, let me share the screen with you. So, okay. It is repeated many times that yoga is not a religion. Yet the concept of Ishvara Pranidhana, surrender to God, surrender to the cosmic purpose, etc., is key in self-realization. One might also say that yamas and niyamas have a religious sense as the biblical commandments. Can I say more on this? Okay. So this is a very, very interesting question. Okay. Now, let's understand something. What constitutes a religion? What constitutes religions are typically a sense of the nature of existence and the rituals you need to adhere to stay within the religion. Okay. And it is often related to cultures. So the thing is basically, now when we look at it from the Yoga Sutra perspective, Yoga Sutra definitely says about the nature of existence, but Yoga Sutra also tells you how, in a self-observation way, without having to do with any religion, it is giving you a broad set of principles by which you can approach. However, Yoga Sutra is theistic, in the sense it is clear that there is a place for God. Okay. However, Yoga Sutra in the last chapter is also, actually, it is not only in the last chapter, it is also in chapter 3. Actually, it is there also in chapter 2, the element, where what it is very clear is the path to liberation is having no programs. If your programs are all dissolved, you are liberated, right? So let's look at the span of all the religions of the world, okay? If you look at the span of all the religions of the world, on one side, you have the religions that are theistic, and then on the other side, you have the religions that are non-theistic, like Buddhism, okay? And so what happens is, but on the other hand, Buddhism is also saying, learn to be a pure observer, don't get affected by things around you. The whole world is a Maya illusion, don't get affected by it, right? So in other words, finally what happens is, the Buddhist approach to the liberation is, everything dissolves and you become one with the cosmic energy, as in Sutra number 34 of chapter 4. And on the other hand, if you have a faith-based religion that is like Christianity or Islam, where you attain the feet of the Lord, you become you attain go to heaven kind of thing, that is the concept of Chana Pratiyogi. And of course, the beauty of the Hindu tradition is, the Hindu tradition has room for everybody to believe whichever the way they want. And so the thing is, you see, it's very interesting. In Georgetown University here in Washington, D.C., in the Department of Religion over there, there is a professor of religion by the name of Ariel Glucklich. So Ariel, I have met him on one time. He was giving a lecture, and he made a very interesting comment. Apparently, this happened in the 1980s. They had a TV show where they had people from various religions who would, and the moderator would say, I'm going to ask you one simple question. Why don't you tell me what is your position on your religion? So he will ask a question like, does your religion believe in God? And so they go one by one by one. The Hindu says yes. And then they ask, does your religion negate the concept of no God? Does your religion negate the concept of God? Okay. So he will go one by one. Buddhism will say yes, and Hinduism will go and say yes. So the moderator is thoroughly confused. On one hand, you say, yes, you believe in God. And the other hand, you say you also negate the existence of God. So you see, how do you work with this? So in other words, you see, that this is why Hinduism is not truly one religion. It's a conglomerate of various religions that gives liberty for people to approach whichever they want. And that is why it is called the eternal truth, or the Sanatana Dharma. And of course, the philosophy associated with it, once you take all the rituals out of it, it is the Yoga Sutras. And so the Yoga Sutras has the ability to accommodate every religion in the world. Okay, and so coming back, so that is the answer for Jennifer Palmer's question. And the question she had asked, let's look at it again to see how we answered it, is, yeah, the concept of Ishvara, it's not a religion, yet the concept of Ishvara Pranidhana, yes, and the yamas and niyamas, okay. The yamas and niyamas are actually of a different kind. You see, the concept of 10 commandments as she raises over there with respect to yamas and niyamas, right? From this thing. That is a mistaken understanding of the yamas and niyamas, okay? Because what happens is, if you dig a little deep into the yamas and niyamas, you will very quickly realize that the inner meaning of the yamas and niyamas is different from the 5 yamas and 5 niyamas. Because what happens is, what is the concept of stealing? We went through this when we were over there. It is entirely in the frame of reference by which you work. What is the concept of lying? It is relative to the truth you know. So what you say is only as informed or as misinformed you are, right? So apparently there is, 30% of the population actually have been convinced by Trump that, he won the election, but Biden won by cheating, okay? Apparently 30% of the population is convinced that way, okay? So they have bought into Trump's lies. So because they have bought into Trump's lies, they believe that is the truth, and that's what they will say, right? So the thing is, truth is in how you experience yourself. And so the absolute concept of what we deal with yamas and niyamas, they are not of an absolute nature. So they cannot be thought of really from a 10 commandment perspective, particularly when you look at one of the yamas and one of the niyamas. Yes, go ahead, Tammy.
How would a yogi be in a conversation with a person, family member, that starts a conversation with exactly what you said, and then do you just do like Buddha did and say, I don't know?
There you go. So the thing is, basically, this is where some substance of yama is being true to your conscience in every act you do. And the some substance of niyama is keeping regularity in your energy flow. From morning to evening, but till night, our biorhythm changes. And there is a pattern to the biorhythm. If you're inconsistent with your biorhythm, then in which case there is perturbation in your system that causes what I call as the vibrations will lead to a situation where your sleep will be disturbed at night. You will not get sleep at the proper time. Your hunger gets mixed up, and you start eating in a bad way, and all of these things. So the thing is, what happens is, keeping the harmony of regularity is what the niyama is all about. And why are you able to keep the harmony of regularity? The reason you're able to keep the harmony of regularity is tapas, swadhyaya, ishvara pranidhana. The previous, actually, shuchi, santosha, sushi, tapas, swadhyaya, ishvara pranidhana, right? So the purity, having contentment, and then the seeking to be a pure observer, that way you are able to purify yourself, and mental inquiry, right? Swadhyaya, and then letting go, surrender to God. So if you look in terms of it, that if you have an attitude that you're letting go of everything to God, let things work out, then in which case it helps you to keep the regularity of living. Now, for example, I'll give you an example about myself, and I know it'll be very, very difficult for many of you to follow. Okay? Now, what happens is, I have so much work on my plate. Okay? So what happens is, I only work in a way where there is complete harmony. I don't hurry to get things done. But on the other hand, when I sit and work with things, they will get done very fast. Okay, like last Sunday, we had our board meeting, and I prepared a PowerPoint presentation for that had 36 slides. Okay, the content of it was very heavy content. Now, people remarked to me, it must have taken a week for you to do this. So I told him, no, I had no time over the week to do it. I sat down at 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, and it took me 3 hours to put the PowerPoint presentation. And at 12:30, we had the board meeting began. And so everything worked out because everything was there right in place. Okay. So what happens is, if you let the intuitive flow guide you, and you don't push yourself to sleep less and finish an assignment or do things that disturb the harmony, what will happen is, we are an instrument of the cosmic flow. The cosmos will take care of it, provided we are open and willing to accept. So that is the concept of yama coming over here. In other words, let go. You don't have to think I'm the doer. The key element of yama is that I'm not the doer. I'm only an instrument of the cosmic flow. So think of it. One is being true to the conscience. The other is understanding I'm only an instrument of the cosmic flow. This is the aspect of yama and niyama. So that has nothing to do with a religion or a ritual. Right? Yeah, go ahead, Tammy.
So would it be just to say that I don't have an opinion on that? On the point of my having to have a conversation with somebody that really wants to, I don't know, I think they know that they're instigative by saying that Trump won.
See, the thing is, we need to understand this slightly differently at different levels. Okay? What happens is, in the advertising world, it is very well understood that anytime you get exposure to messages repeatedly again and again, they know that you can sell anything to anyone. Okay? So, Hitler's propaganda worked to go and create genocide in Germany only because he was able to, by the constant messaging, he was able to brainwash the public, right? So there is a saying, if you lie and keep on lying and you get media to expand the lie and it is there all the time, eventually even the lie will be thought of as the truth, right? So the thing is, basically, in these kind of things, the educated process needs to go. And what happens is, every time a lie is portrayed, you need to fight back the lie. And what happens is, the part is, because of the nature of the political world and offices involved, You see, what happens is, the thing is, because Trump occupies the position of the President of the United States, you know, if you look at all the media and every coverage, okay, the people, commentators will say, oh, Trump has his view of the truth, okay? And they will say things like, his is not the view of the rest of the world. They will say things. Nobody will come and say, but on very rare occasions, this man is a bold-faced liar. People don't say that because there's a respect to the office of the presidency, right? And so the thing is, you see, that prevents people from getting the right news. Now, once he's out of office, it gives a little more liberties for people. And let's see what the media will say after that. Anyway.
Actually, the Yama seems to be a straightforward thing, inner conscience. But the thing is, the modern world, people have been raised in the name of success. You kill that inner conscience.
Yes. That is absolutely correct. But what happens is, this is where, I would like to say that the spiritual tradition that we all grew up with, at some point in time, we failed to recognize the value of it, and we didn't inculcate it to our children. Anyway, so much for that. We have exceeded our time. We have gone far beyond. So let's go into the chakra vibrations quickly.
You will be open for questions tomorrow?
Oh yeah, we'll continue with these questions tomorrow.
Thank you.
And so tomorrow also will be one more day where we'll finish off everything, right? Okay. So here we go with the bring your awareness to the perineum, pressing on the little finger. We begin with Lam. Take a deep breath in. Lam. Release your finger and continue. Bring your awareness 1 inch behind, 1 inch above the perineum. Pressing on the ring finger, we go to Vam. Release the finger and continue. Bring the awareness behind the navel, middle finger, and we go to Ram. Release the fingers and continue. Last time. In between the breasts, yum, index finger. Release the fingers, continue. One more time. Now bring the awareness to the throat, and here we do hum. Thumbs up mudra. Hum. Release the hand and continue. Middle of the head, we do chum, thumbs up mudra. Chum. Chum. Top of the head, we do om. Oh, sorry. Release the hands and we do chum one more time. Chum. Top of the head, we do om. Thumbs up mudra. Release the hand and continue. Om. Last time. Now Vijaya will take over. Yes.
So we'll do the Ujjayi Pranayama for a few minutes. Close your eyes and bring the awareness to the throat. The throat is at the base of the mouth through which air and food passes. Focusing on the throat, make a big smile and feel the stretch in the throat. Focusing on that stretch, inhale and exhale slowly as you feel the air rub against the throat. Please continue. We'll move to the spinal alignment exercises. We're constrained for time today. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, gently bring the ear down to the shoulder. Inhale and come back. Exhale and bring the other ear down to the shoulder. Inhale and come back. Continue. As you come back, exhale and look over one shoulder. Inhale and come back. Exhale and look over the other shoulder. Inhale and come back. And continue. As you come back, and with the next inhalation, take your head backwards. Exhale and bring the chin down to the chest. Inhale and head backwards. Exhale and chin down to the chest. Continue. As you exhale and come back down, we do the 360-degree neck rotations. Inhale for half a circle and exhale the other half, and continue in the same direction. As you come back to the center, we'll switch directions. Inhale for half a circle and exhale the other half, and continue. Relax as you come back. We'll now move to the next exercise and alternate our shoulders. Inhale and lift up one shoulder. Exhale, rotate and bring it back down. Inhale and lift up the other shoulder. Exhale, rotate and bring it back down. And continue. Relax as you come back. We'll now move to the hand exercises. Stretch your hands and keep them straight. As you inhale, open out your palms and keep them perpendicular to the forearm. As you exhale, thumbs in and fist down. Inhale, exhale, and continue. As we exhale and bring our fist down, we'll do the fist rotations. Inhale for half a circle and exhale the other half and continue. As you come back, we switch directions. Inhale for half a circle and exhale the other half. Continue. Relax as you come back. For the next exercise, let's bring our elbows in line with the shoulders. Open out your palms and move them up and down as you inhale and exhale. Continue. As you come back down, we'll switch directions. Inhale and exhale and continue. Relax as you come back. For the next exercise, let's interlock our hands and place them behind the head. Make sure your elbows are at 180 degrees and the head is straight. As you exhale, turn to one side. Inhale and come back. Exhale and turn the other side. Inhale and come back. And continue. Relax as you come back. For the next exercise, let's get our elbows above the head. As you exhale, pull on one elbow. Inhale and come back. Exhale and pull on the other elbow. Inhale and come back. And continue. Feel the stretch along your shoulder blades as you do this. Relax as you come back. For the next exercise, let's bring our elbows behind the back. As you exhale, turn to one side. Inhale and come back. Exhale and turn the other side. Inhale and come back. And continue. Relax as you come back. For the next exercise, let's get our hands on either side of the spine. As you inhale, push back on one side, making a backward arch. Exhale and come back. Inhale and push on the other side. Exhale and come back. And continue. Relax as you come back. We'll now do both our shoulders together. Inhale and lift up both your shoulders. Exhale, push back, rotate and bring it back down. Inhale and exhale. Continue. Relax as you come back. The next exercise, let's cross one leg over the other and hold the knee with your interlocked hand. Exhale and pull up the leg and turn to the same direction as the leg you're holding. Inhale and release. Exhale, pull and turn. Inhale and release. And continue. Feel the stretch along your thighs as you do this. As you come back down, we'll switch to the other leg. Exhale, pull and turn. Inhale and release. Continue. Relax as you come back. We'll now move to the cycling exercise. Do 5 counts on each leg. Inhale and bring up the leg. Exhale and stretch it out in a cycling motion. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Switch to the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Relax as you come back. We'll move to Bastrika Pranayam today because we're short on time. I don't think there's anybody new, so we'll move to the exercise. We'll have time for one round today to a count of 20. The exhalation is a little longer than the inhalation. We'll do this keeping our eyes closed. And please visualize the vitality of the breath as we inhale and exhale. So when you're ready, inhale, exhale. 2, exhale. 3, exhale. 4, exhale. 5, exhale. 6, exhale. 7, exhale. 8, exhale. Nine. Ten. Exhale. 11. Exhale. 12. Exhale. 13. Exhale. 14. Exhale. 15. Exhale. 16. Exhale. 17. Exhale. 18. Exhale. 19. Exhale. 20. And exhale. Keep your eyes closed. Relax. Observe any sensations in the head and also as they gently dissipate.
Keeping your eyes closed, as your sensations are gently dissipating, we will go into meditation. If you have a personal mantra, you can chant that personal mantra in your mind. We will be playing the Om. You can even focus on that. Use whatever mudra works for you. Tell yourself, I give up all ideas and concepts and I care about nothing. keeping our eyes closed, affirm to yourself, may I be guided to fulfill the purpose for which I was born. With that, bring both your palms in front of your face. As you open your eyes, look directly into the palm of your hands. Thank you, everyone. Namaste. See you tomorrow.
Namaste.
Thank you, Vijaya and Anu. See you tomorrow.
See you
See
tomorrow.
you.
Thank you, Vijaya.
Thank you.